Our guest this week brought honor and pride to the Asian community, especially to our Chinese friends. Our guest is the professor and senior lecturer in the management department of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Coming from China and took both her master's and doctor's degree in America was a big adjustment for her. She is both a certified dance fitness instructor with WERQ and a certified yoga instructor. Our guest is Professor Lee. Before we will proceed to the main interview, I would like to remind the viewers to click on the subscribe button as well as the bell button so you get a notification every time a new video is being released. This is Janet Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. Welcome to our show, Professor Lee.
Hi, Jeanette. Hi, everyone, the Global Inspiration viewers. Good to see you. It's an honor for me to be here. My name is Ming. You can call me Professor Lee, and my kids call me You're So Ming. So whichever way is suitable.
Yeah. So where are you originally from?
I'm from northwest part of China in a small city called Yinchuan. It means Silver Valley, but not many people know about the place.
So when did you move from China to America?
Gosh, long time ago, 1999.
Okay. And I am curious, and the viewers are quite curious, why did you move?
Well, I was young and fearless back then. I graduated from college, then I worked for a while, but as every young soul, right, I wanted something different.
Correct.
Something adventurous. So I came to this country to pursue a master's degree first.
You garnered your doctorate degree a doctorate degree in management from the prestigious Duke University. Share with us the challenges you have encountered as a student.
Thank you. First of all, I really miss that place, Duke University. Once a blue devil, always a blue devil. During my PhD journey, I think the biggest challenges are, the first one is actually adjusting to a different cultural setting, right? Country to country and the academic institution to another academic institution. And within that context, the biggest challenges are really getting used to the academic world, the way you approach things, the way you write papers, let alone lots of reading and also being exposed to so many different people, different ideas. There are challenges, but that's how we learn. I really tremendously enjoyed my experience on the PhD program.
Okay. So did you envision yourself to be a university faculty when you were taking your doctorate degree, or were you thinking of a corporate job?
Well, absolutely academic career. That's how usually when you decide to do a PhD, you're committed to an academic journey.
Okay.
And for me, I always have highest respect for educators. My parents are educators. One of my sister is, and another of my sister had experiences educating, being an educator in China. So I have had role models all along.
Yeah,
and I tremendously enjoy.
Yeah, and it's good to know that your family is really into education and into teaching. So how long have you been teaching management classes, and give us the ranges of your teaching interest?
I think it has been it has been 12 years since my first teaching job. I teach all kinds of courses in management, notably an intro to management, whoever is interested in managing organizations and people effectively around them. That's the foundational class. I also teach HR courses, international HR, cross-cultural management, negotiation, and women in leadership.
Exactly. So pandemic is around us. It's still here. So how does COVID affecting your teaching, and how do you feel teaching virtually?
Those are excellent questions. I have to say, after almost a year, the pandemic has made me a better teacher. I say this seriously, even though people always put that out there, but for me, from my personal perspective, the pandemic has made students behave differently, slightly. I see polarized behavior. People or students who always have things under control do better. but the majority of them lean a little bit or slide a little bit to the side, and like they don't know how to manage things. So I see my role changing from being someone who um, spread knowledge to someone who also manage and support my students. So the role, I know there are different roles for an instructor to play, but I see my emphasis floating or spread it much, much wider. And I put myself in my students' shoes because occasionally you hear a lot more concerns from students. I put myself in their shoes and I realize at this time during a pandemic, empathy and support is probably more important than making sure they have the knowledge, because only with the support system can students learn, can they really start to acquire knowledge. So it has made me a better instructor.
Yeah, that's good. When we hear the word COVID, it comes to our mind, businesses are closing, employees losing their jobs. We could not go home because we don't have flight. We cannot book our flight. So what do you think is the silver lining of COVID?
I would say two things. First one is to appreciate things that we have taken for granted. Right? Yes, we're all longing for that, but then we do have something in our hands, in our hearts. We appreciate what we have, and really, we may be mourning things that we've lost. I know there are lots of sorrow in the world, but really, you've got to always look on the bright side of life, right? So appreciate what we have, appreciate what we have taken for granted, even if we have lost part of it. Second one is really family. This is the time when you are, whether you choose or not, you are enclosed in a small space. It's your time to explore your relationship with each other. And I felt lucky, really. I had so much time to spend with my kids. Sometimes there was tension, but most of the time I just feel we have each other. The love is flowing everywhere. It makes me a stronger person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to know that people are thinking COVID is not just negative. They're positive in everything. And I agree with you that is the silver lining of COVID.
Yeah.
So Duke University is in North Carolina and you are in Madison. What brought you here in Madison?
I would like to say the weather.
Oh, the
But
weather.
that would be that would be lying. It's job. It's career path, right? I love the South. The spring, the summer. Summer could be brutally hot, but the winter, the spring, the fall, it's just beautiful. And plus, I'm emotionally attached to Durham, North Carolina,
Yeah.
where I pursued my first PhD degree.
Yeah.
The reason I moved here was mostly just career pursuit.
Okay.
Jobs brought. We're immigrants. We understand the mentality. We go where the jobs are.
Yeah.
So my journey has been to North Carolina. So my first landing place is actually Albany. It's cold enough.
Oh,
Then I went to Duke. In between, I went to London, and I came back. I went to Durham, North Carolina. Then I moved to Champaign, Illinois. Then Minneapolis. Then here. I have to say, Madison so far is my favorite place to live.
thank you. Thank you for letting us know that why you love Madison, Wisconsin. You are a certified dance fitness instructor with WERQ, which I understand is a wildly addictive cardio dance class based on the hottest pop and hip hop music. My question is, why pick WERQ? I know I have seen you. I have seen you dance. So why WERQ?
I would break it down into two parts. First,
Okay.
why dance fitness, right?
Yeah.
The other one is why WERQ. I'm
Yeah.
a latecomer for dance fitness. I only picked it up after I had kids. And I was driven by necessity. I needed some time alone. And I was working by a daycare center. I saw a bunch of kids, and so I asked, where did the kids come from? It turned out they have a daycare center and they have a fitness center where they can take your kids for a while. So it's like, yes, I'm in. So I went there and I tried out a few Zumba classes. I fell in love because I'm a person who needed the pump. And there's music and you can move. You don't feel like you're working out, and you are actually burning a lot of calories and just being happy. Right. So I danced enough that some instructors approached me saying, hey, I think you're ready to train and become an instructor. I was like, okay. I did The Beat. It's an independent brand. And I moved here. I was looking for songs. Then there are tons of resources online. And for the same song, this WERQ name kept popping up. It's like, oh, they have really good choreography. And they have a variety of different styles regarding what you dance to. It's hip hop, it's jazz, it's a little bit burlesque, all kinds of things. That's why I like it. It's a variety. You can pick and choose.
Yeah, yeah. So I love work. Just letting you know that I love work. When did you start as a dance instructor, and tell us more about this journey?
About 7 years ago, right? I followed one instructor whose Zumba class I really loved. And as I said, right, people are like, oh, you could be the instructor. It's like, no, no, no. I hesitated for a while, but I call it a professional hazard. Whenever I want to learn something, I think the best way to learn it is to teach. Because when you teach, you have to know something inside out. There is no way around being ambiguous or ambivalent or wishy-washy about something. You have to learn it. So my approach is always, if I want to learn something, I go teach it. For first learning, and then I've learned enough, then I go teach it. So that happened to me with work. That happened to me with the yoga too. It's tremendously beneficial.
Yeah. Discipline is what we need, right? You are a certified yoga instructor with CorePower Yoga. Tell us more about that.
I wish there was CorePower Yoga studio in Madison,
Oh,
but I love a local one equally. That's the Dragonfly Hot Yoga.
okay.
It's the same thing. I just love the spiritual aspects of yoga and the fitness of aspect. As you can see, we are in our daily routine. I'm usually hunched over a desk like this. So over time, I had problems with my shoulders, with my neck, basically my posture. And when you dance a lot, you use a lot of different parts of your muscles, but the stretching part is never there. So I needed that aspect. Then I discovered yoga. Then I got drawn into a specific style of yoga, and I said, okay, I want to learn. So I went to get the certification. I taught yoga for a few years until I moved to Madison. So for here, I mostly just practice on my own.
You have been in America. You have been in America for a long time. Give us two instances that you love most about USA.
I'd say two things mostly. One is the average level of humanity in the society. People are willing to help, not only just people who are close to you, but also sometimes strangers or people who don't have a stake in your life whatsoever. They're just there to help you. I can think of multiple professors in my life who helped me in my master's degree, in my PhD degree. I wouldn't be here without their help. And they do this in a really selfless way. They just want to be there to be mentor to help people. So that's the biggest takeaway I have about the American society. The second one is nature. Readily available within reach. Nature. You can just go there. And that's one reason why I love Madison. I drive out 5 minutes, I'm in the wild or countryside, whatever you call that. I'm just immersed in the nature.
Yeah,
It's soul therapy.
yeah. I love going to the parks because I can see nature. So when was the last time you have visited China, and what you miss most? Give us examples.
That was 2 years ago. I've been counting the days. My trip back home was canceled last summer for sure. We all know why. And I'm still trying to go back this summer, but I'm not very optimistic. The best part I miss about China is my family. My parents are there. All my sisters and their families are there. In fact, my father is going to celebrate his 90th birthday this summer. So I can't believe if I had to miss it, I don't know how to deal with it if I have to miss it. Yeah.
You are so busy, Professor Lee, and you have two kids and you have a husband, and I think he is working also at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I want to know, what do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? Do you sing? Do you cook? Do you do garden?
Well, gardening is something I tried, but I miserably failed. So my hobbies so far include definitely dancing.
Okay.
That's my happy hour, that's my escape. And yoga, where I can be completely myself. Don't think about anything, just relax. And cooking for sure. According to my kids, I'm a fantastic cook. So I'm going to just keep that title. I'm not going to examine how valid that is. I'll just happily and proudly wear that title. And hiking with family.
Your story is very inspirational. You are very brave and very aggressive. You don't settle for less. You always settle for the best. As a last question, can you share with us any inspirational thoughts with our viewers regarding virtues in life, your life experiences, virtues you believe in, or about the future?
Yeah, there are so many, but I think I'm only going to highlight two things. The first one is called VIP. You might be thinking, why VIP? It came from my college days. I went to Fudan University in Shanghai, which is a really good university. So we were lucky to have foreign professors coming to visit us every semester. So we have one native speaker, usually coming from a US college or university, and they would teach us subject matter in English. So we had to try really hard to understand. And there was this very wonderful professor. He walked into the classroom. He usually chit chat with us to warm up and to practice, to allow us to practice. So one day he walked in, he asked, "So does anybody know what VIP is?" I was like, "Very interesting person." And we all know what VIP stands for here, right? It's a very important person or people. Right. But the professor didn't correct me. He said, "That's an interesting perspective." So he said, from now on, we call VIP very interesting person. What this message, what this VIP indicates is everybody can be a VIP. You need to be someone. You need to have passion to be interesting so that you can really contribute to the society, to others, or at the very least, make yourself really happy. Otherwise, you'll be hollow. I always say being a VIP, having a strong core, would make you strong and happy in your life. And the second thing would be quoting from one of my favorite movies, that is the song called Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Life of Brian. I don't know whether you've seen it, but it's a British comedy, super hilarious, and we always sing that song whenever we're down in the family.
My gosh, Professor Lee, your story, your inspirational thoughts touches my heart. Your story, your life story is very inspirational. So we have to end the show. Again, thank you very much for being the guest this week. And this is Jeanette Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world.